All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jason from Camps with Friends. We are a online database of summer camps and after-school enrichment activities for children. Our database is currently up to about 18,000 businesses from around the country, and that's growing every day. Parents can search through that database and they can do research and communicate directly with all of the businesses on our platform. And today I'm talking to Beth from Frenchwood's Performing Arts Festival up in New York State. And Beth is the founder's daughter of Frenchwoods. Beth, why don't you say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, pleasure to meet you all. My name is Beth Schaefer. My dad founded Frenchwoods better than 50 years ago. We are a private independent residential program. We have programs in music, art, theater, dance, magic, waterfront, tennis, science, sports, horseback riding, and cooking. So it's quite diverse. It's an entirely individualized program. So the kids are signing up for the activities that they're interested in. So we work with the major minor concept. Actually, my dad was a real innovator in that field, in that we were the first program that offered individualized programming in that way.
Wow, that is really cool. And can you tell us a little bit about the area that you're in?
Sure. Actually, the name Frenchwoods comes from the immediate area. It is the village of Frenchwoods. It was originally a French settlement. It is no longer. But we're right on the Pennsylvania border, about the midpoint between Monticello and Binghamton. It is sort of a quiet part of New York State. We're on a private lake. We're pretty much the only ones on the lake, so we have a lot of privacy. Yeah.
And what inspired your dad to start this program?
So my dad was a music teacher. He was a middle school band director, and so his foundations are really in music. But he had loved camping his whole life. He'd been in the camping industry for many years. He's wanted to have one of his own. So eventually he bought a piece of property and created this program. We started with music and branched out from there. We've always offered a variety of sports programs, but that's also gotten more diverse as the years have gone on. Whereas we are definitely known as a performing arts program, I really think of ourselves as program. The idea being that we're looking to provide the activities of interest to kids at the level of their interest. So we have kids who come in level, they've never done these things before. And we also have kids who are literally in the professional world already, performing or focused on their particular specialty area.
And what's the primary mission of Frenchwoods?
I would pretty much say that I just said it. It is to provide the activities of interest to the kids at the level of their interest. We're really looking to serve very individual needs and deal with the kids on that very personalized level to provide what it is that unique and serve them.
Can you tell me a little bit about the camp directors and, do you have, because you have a lot of very specialized programs, right? From circus to, I know you do like orchestra and band, and like it's very, you can't just hire a regular kid straight out of college, right, to come and be a camp director there. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure, of course. I think by camp director, you're talking about sort of
the counselors. Yep.
Right. So in terms of our heads of department and like that, we're looking at professionals in their field. Brian Worsdale has been our head of music for many years. He teaches on the university level. He also have youth programs throughout the year. And he has been running the Frenchwoods music department for quite some time, certainly 10 years at least. I think probably a little bit longer than that, actually. It really depends on the area. Many of our theater directors are, again, professionals in the industry. We have, because we've been around as long as we have, we're quite fortunate in that Many of our staff oftentimes will have people who are out working in the professional world, but they have kids now and they want to come back for 3 weeks and teach camp a little bit. So, for example, Brian Kite, who is the acting dean at UCLA, comes in and directs a show every summer for 3 weeks. And we have a variety of professors from all over the place, high school level teachers and after school teachers and what have you. So in terms of our heads of department at camp, we really are looking at people who have very strong backgrounds in that particular area.
Yeah. And so talking about the kids that are going to be coming to French Woods, let's kind of focus on the performing arts and music kind of aspect for a second, because I know there's obviously a few, and it may not pertain to all of those areas. But let's say there was a kid that was just wanting to get into music, or maybe doesn't have the access to that kind of thing. Maybe
Sure.
not a musician. Are they able to come to music camp, or do they have to be a more experienced?
So to give you a very personalized example, my son picked up the cello for the very first time when he was at camp. That was probably about 6 or 7 years ago now. So he is playing at a higher level now, but it was the first time he ever touched that instrument while he was at camp. And that's not entirely uncommon, particularly within our rock and roll department as well. We'll have kids who've never played an instrument before be up and playing, with a band at the end of the 3-week session. They're playing a set and doing their thing right from the very beginner all the way to the very advanced student. Within our music program, in our third session, we do a concerto night program for audition with a piece to play with the orchestra. So they're literally playing as a soloist with a full symphony orchestra, which is a very unusual opportunity for most kids. And it's a really neat program. So we'll usually have about 5 or so soloists every summer who are given that opportunity. It is an audition. That is an audition-based piece. However, when people come into the music department, the theater department, the circus program, the dance program, all of those areas, they'll come in and they'll do a play, but it is not. Oftentimes we think of it as an audition. An audition implies that you might not get in. We are 100%. So it's really more of a placement to figure out where on that spectrum of skill you're going to sit. What role are you going to have in the show, not going to be in a show.
Yeah, that's really great. Can you tell us a little bit about the music program? That's great. Can you tell us, you have a circus program as well, don't you? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Our circus program is tremendous. We have probably better than 20 different apparatus down there, everything from the flying trapeze to the rolling globe, silk static trapeze, lyra, Spanish web, juggling, the list goes on. At the end of every session, in fact, in sessions 2, 3, and 4, we actually do 3 different circus performances at the end of each session, and that way we're able to focus on each child a little bit more. We do a evening circus with fire and fly. We do fire twirling, and kids start with glow sticks and work. And then we'll also do a lot of those aerial programs as well. Additionally to that, we do a daytime circus show with a variety of the air and ground acts and whatnot, sear wheel, etc. And then we'll also do a junior circus. So what we have discovered over the years is some of our youngest have been very athletic, very serious dancers, whatever the case might be, from a very early age. And whether or not they've been in the circus before, if they've these apparatus before, with a gymnastics background, they're going to excel. With a dance background, oftentimes they are going to excel in those areas. And it really gives us a chance with that junior program to allow those younger kids to have the one-on-one attention that they need in order to shine just as brightly as those older kids.
That is great. Do you have a lot of kids coming from out of state, or are the majority of your children, for example, within a 2 or 3 hour drive?
We have kids from all over the country. We represent something like 40 states. From year to year, obviously, it's a little different from year to year, but we do get quite a spectrum of kids from all over the country, and we get international kids as well. I wouldn't say it's a huge percentage of international kids, but we definitely welcome a fair number of international kids every session.
What would you say to a parent like me, for example, who down here in Texas, 3-week, 4-week, 8-week summer camps is not really a thing. The majority of kids are only going away for about 1 week. We certainly don't put them on an airplane up to New York State. What would you say to parents who are maybe scared about that whole sort of concept, to try and convince them to think about it at least?
Look, there's no convincing a parent. It needs to be right for you. That being said, we really provide a lot of individualized attention for the kids, and to allow your child the possibility to be in an environment where they get to call the shots, they get to decide exactly what they're going to focus on. And we do have kids from Texas, and we have kids of all ethnicities. It's a very diverse population, and that is specifically because of the specialty programs. A lot of traditional camps are programs that do pull from smaller areas oftentimes, because it's community based. In many cases, not always. Our case, because we are such a strong specialty program, we get kids who come to camp specifically for whatever it is that they're interested in. One of the kids that I'm thinking of from Texas is a musical theater boy. He is an incredibly talented singer. He's a great actor. He does it all. And he came to camp and he discovered circus, and he's taking dance classes, and he'll play down and sing lead on a rock band and things like that. But he came to camp specifically to do theater, and then discovered all of his options and is able to everybody else's.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the limitations that we have down here. Is there is basically Christian camp and non-Christian camp, right? There's not that I've even, and being in the industry, I've not found a performing arts camp or any real specialty camps, beyond, when you go to one of these other summer camps that are a week long, they go to the pool, they go to the lake, they spend time at the lake, they play volleyball, it's just kind of a mixture of all the kind of activities that get your kid out of the house. And there's a lot of great things for the kid, right? Because they're not on their technology, they're meeting new people, they're experience new things, zip lines and horse riding and all that kind of good stuff. But there's no real specialist camps like yours, where kids can really go and experience something completely new and learn and get challenged and really diversify.
Absolutely.
So it's really great. And, getting the word out there about summer camps like yours, especially in the times that we live in now, where kids are all electronics all the time. It's really great to get them out there. I've pushed both of my daughters into playing volleyball. And they didn't want to do it. And I was like, listen, if you don't pick a sport, it's going to be outdoor soccer. And outdoor soccer in summer is not fun in Texas. And they were like, all right, we'll play volleyball because it's indoors and air conditioned. I'm like, okay, just do something.
Sure. Look, and I will say that one of the real virtues like ours, because of that diversity of program, for example, with our music program, our theater program and music program and dance program all sort of fit together quite beautifully. So when we're doing West Side Story, that is fully choreographed and with a full pit orchestra. So they're performing with that full orchestral sound, which again is not so easy to come by for kids sometimes.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Beth, thank you so much for spending this this time with me. Is there anything that you want to sort of leave the parents with before we end this call?
You know, I mean, I think that camping is an incredible opportunity for kids, whether it's at French Woods or another program, camping kids to have an independence that they simply don't have at home, in a safe environment. And that's a very, very special thing. You know, as far as French Woods is concerned, my son is able to have that feeling of safety and the safety net of being in a place that he understands the framework of, but he's able to then really choose what he wants to do and has to do, and have freedom and learning environment that where kids don't really realize they're learning because they're having a great time and they're having fun.
Yeah, that is awesome. And where can parents, besides obviously Camps with Friends, where can parents find you?
Check out our website at www.frenchwoods.com. We're pretty easy to find, and we have a complete virtual tour of the program, of the camp itself, as well as video on the program to give you a little bit of background. You might even see me on that video somewhere.
All right. Well, Beth, thank you so much. I'm going to end the recording now. Stick around after that, and then we'll just finish up. And so,
Absolutely, my
yeah,
pleasure.
goodbye, everybody.